guys and gals? Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you mounts to the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Leigh's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! There's one thing that's clear just from a quick glance. There's definitely a drop in enthusiasm. It's hard to point out why, but it feels like there's a steady decline in enjoyment. I can't concrete point to any one thing. There's just a general dreary vibe from the late entries that's hard to figure out. She doesn't seem to be talking about school much anymore, and there's a lot of pages that seem to just be venting various feelings. The others don't look particularly impressed with the state of the book either. Then something catches my eye. The rapid scribbling out of words that cover a specific page that I nearly skimmed past. It doesn't take long for me to figure out that this is the page. Its frantic writing and numerous stains are such a stark contrast to anything I've seen before. This is it. You sure, man? This looks, well, to be blunt, unreadable. I'm not so sure about this anymore. It'll be fine, man. It might be a little unnerving, yeah. That's it, but it ain't gonna hurt us. Probably. What's next, Wallace? I hadn't noticed it gotten close enough to be basically leaning over my shoulder to see the book. He didn't seem very interested even a minute ago. I guess now that we're at the source of my stress, it's suddenly much more worth his attention. I can feel his tail wrapping around my legs. Knowing Leigh, he's trying to reassure me. It's sweet, but I think I'm gonna be fine this time. I only got halfway through this and I was a little distracted. I didn't really get time to process any of it. Things were hectic. That bad, huh? Yeah, a little bit. I'd rather not think about it. No sweat up my bag, just forget about it. Thanks. Alright, should I read out loud? We can't see it from over here and it's upside down. Right, yeah. With all the mayhem that happened to that dream while I was reading, I really don't remember much about what I read, other than Helena being very upset. Here we go, again. I just don't get it. Why was she acting like that? Why won't she return any calls or messages or anything? I just don't get it. I thought it would be just one little thing and we could talk about it, but she's been avoiding me for days. Mom, fucking days! We never went this long without talking. It's all over nothing. I just don't get it. We were supposed to talk to each other about everything. What changed? Was it that big of a deal? She knows what's going on and she just ghosts me? What kind of fucking friend is that? That's all I got the last time. I don't even think I finished that line last time. That sounded pretty bad. That's bad. She sounded like she was having a meltdown. Is she talking about the fight she got into with Mercy? You guys mentioned that Mercy and her stopped visiting the shelter together, right? Yeah, Mercy started going by herself and was acting strange. It sounded pretty bad from what we heard. They seemed so close earlier. What does she mean by she knows what's going on? That sounds pretty serious. I don't know. I haven't read anything that I haven't seen anything that she could be referring to, but most of the pages are missing. That's an understatement. Most of the book is missing. We're not going to learn shit from this. Maybe we should just keep reading and see what we find. Right, there isn't a whole lot left. Most of this page is a lot of scribbling out. It's a little hard to figure out where each sentence even is. After taking a moment to figure out where we were amongst the carnage of lines, I'm able to carry on. She ain't returning any of my calls. She's leaving me on read. She's even fucking avoiding me at school. We share a fucking class. Where's she going? I tried asking the teacher, but since attendance isn't mandatory, they told me they couldn't tell me anything. Isn't that fucked up? It wasn't even that big of a deal. I just don't get why she wouldn't just talk to me about it instead of shutting me out. Like, there seems to be something erased right after this line, but this is different from the rest. It looks meticulously removed, unlike the other frantic scratching. Did she come back and erase this later on? Why? Weirdly, after that, there's significantly less random lines and removed text. The penmanship has improved too. I would say that she's calmed down, but it's sloppy in an entirely different way. Like she's drunk or on the verge of passing out. Is this from a later time? I wish I had just replied. Maybe we could have avoided all this shit. Why did I just freeze up? She was being honest with me. I just stood there like I was ignoring her. What the fuck was I supposed to say? That was fucking unfair of her. Why now? I wish I could call you. I wish you'd pick up and tell me what to do to fix this, but you've already abandoned me. I don't know why I'm surprised. It's all you people ever do. And that's where the writing ends, rather unceremoniously. The only thing left on the page is a single line of ink coming off the final period that streaks all the way to the bottom of the page. The ink looks like a water-based painting. All the ink is spreading out by some liquid I can only assume are tears. They've dried by now, obviously, but I can only imagine how this looked on the day. It's strangely beautiful and haunting to see. That was a lot. Looks like everyone else is just as affected as I am. No one talks for several minutes as we process what we just heard. I've seen people at their lowest points. I've been there numerous times myself, but I've never seen someone so... manic? Is that even the right word? I don't know. It was so full of hurt. It was like the words themselves were screaming at me. People have told me that reading a good poetry would be like reading emotions right off a piece of paper, but I never believed them until now. Leigh's tail is still wrapped around me. I didn't realize how tightly he started constricting me. It's beginning to hurt, but he looks so distracted I don't even think he's noticed. Leigh, too tight. That jolts him out of it. He slides it away from me, even pushing his entire body further away from me to create a gap. Shit, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt you. No, I'm okay. I've had hugs that tight before. Now you're really starting to sound like Charlie. Pretty sure Charlie would have just sacked you in the nuts. She sounds charming. You have no idea. It was a brief moment of levity, if a very welcomed one, but it doesn't take long before the silence falls over us again. Lucas hasn't even said anything since we finished reading. He's just staring down at the diary like he's trying to burn a hole in it with his eyes. I guess I'll lead us off. It doesn't get us anywhere if we stay quiet like this. Sorry. It isn't your fault. This is a lot. Trust me. We're all feeling it. Yeah, this is a little downer for my taste, but we're through it at least, am I right? She seems really frantic. Whatever happened is definitely more than just her fight with Mercy. She mentioned her mom, right? Seems like something went wrong here. Do you think something happened to her? She said she couldn't get in contact with her. I doubt it. She mentioned being abandoned. Sounds like her mother just decided to start ignoring her. That might not be entirely true. Sometimes there's resentment there if something happens to them. Even if it wasn't up to them, they still left you. I definitely know what kind of resentment feels like. It cuts deep into you, more than if they just stabbed you themselves, because it might not have been their fault. Maybe it was yours as well. Wallace. Huh? If you want my opinion, I don't think it's either of those. What do you mean? From what you've told us, it sounds like her mom wasn't in a good place anyway. She's upset because this happens a lot. She isn't mad. She's upset because it's happening again. That's probably why she's so upset for Mercy for whatever she did. She probably told her about it and she still did this. That's a deep betrayal. I can't help but be reminded of Leigh and Charlie's fight. It wasn't anywhere near as messy as this, but there were some sharp cuts thrown by her. I wonder if she feels like Leigh's betrayed her. What did Mercy do then? I don't know. I don't really have any proof of this, but I think Mercy probably told her something she's dealing with and Helena didn't help her out. But Helena was just stunned. She didn't do anything wrong or even decline to help her. She was just quiet for a bit. Doesn't seem fair. I told you, sometimes silence hurts more than anything else. It means they don't care enough to even decline. But Helena tried to get in contact with her. Why wouldn't she want to hear her out? Shame, maybe? Who knows, man? It could even be that she just wanted to forget about it. Even forgetting her best friend? I can't believe that. Sometimes people aren't as close as you think. Or maybe you're too close, you need some distance. People are a bit weird like that, you know? But it sounded like we were just doing a lot of guessing. We'll do some more reading of this later. Maybe we can even find out what happened between them. I'm more surprised she didn't try to get her roommate or boyfriend in on this. They were kind of left by the wayside. Sounds like she had bigger problems than them. This is more than just a fling with a boyfriend. This is your best friend. They mean more to you than anything, except maybe family if you're close with them. I'd hate to lose my parents. I don't know what I'd do without them. Me too. Things might have gotten rocky at home at one point, but we all love each other more than anything. If something happened to them, I don't know what I'd do. That's probably why she was so distressed. Something was going on with her mother, and instead of staying with her, she was abandoned. I don't want to imply anything, Wallace, but she seems pretty unstable. I know, I just don't want to believe she'd hurt them. I think that's enough today, don't you guys think? It's getting a bit late, and the cafe will probably start kicking people out. I actually don't know how long cafes stay open for, but we should anyway. Oh, right, before you go, can I talk to you and Leigh? That makes Leigh raise an eyebrow, but he doesn't push for an answer. He must have realized this is what I was referring to this morning. Ah, well, the two of us? Are we being kicked out of the cool club? I thought we were close, man. It's not like that. I just wanted to speak to them privately. Don't take it the wrong way. Ignore him, he's just being annoying. Some things are private, and we should respect that. Damn, when you say it like that, it sounds so tough. I like it, but I still prefer it when you're cute. Are you done? Nah, if those two want some privacy, I'll steal you away for a bit. Maybe you can introduce me to that roommate of yours you mentioned. What? I have studying to do. You can't just... Calm down. You can still do some studying back at your room even if I'm there, right? I suppose. Then it won't be a problem, will it? I guess not. Fine. He didn't put up much of a fight. I'm able to keep myself from chuckling, and if the girlish giggling is any indication, it doesn't sound like Lily was able to keep her composure. Thankfully, Lucas seems too preoccupied to notice. Especially when Oscar gets up out of his chair and pulls Lucas's chair back, nearly scaring the poor fox half to death. I've never seen someone's fur puff out like that. At least Oscar's right about that. Lucas really is cute. Whoa, I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to get out of their hair. It's fine. Let's just go. Lucas storms out of his chair. I thought maybe he's angrier than I thought. Even Oscar is watching him with a worried expression. But after a few seconds, he stops and checks to see if Oscar is coming to follow him. As soon as he sees that, the otter flashes us a massive grin and gives us one final wink before dashing off after Lucas. He looks so excited that he might as well be skipping. Sounds like the two of them are getting along pretty well. I guess Oscar was right, after all. He really did just need some time with him. To wear him down, maybe. I'm not so sure about that. Lucas has gotten much nicer with him. I don't even think he insulted him once today. Oh, wow, I don't think he did. Well, Well, I guess maybe the two of them deserve it. I think the kids deserve friends. And from the sounds of it, Oscar's about to meet someone who's going to keep him very entertained. Hopefully not in front of Lucas. I have a feeling that's the least of his problems. Agreed. So, Wallace, what did you need? Right, yeah, okay. Do you remember when you offered for me to stay at your place? I was wondering if I could take you up on your offer. Alright, y'all, I'm actually gonna stop it right there and get ready for work. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!